everyone, welcome back to Life is Strange True Color. Not really. We're just doing a review and what's it called? A review and story explained? There we go. Do I even have this down? Yes, I do. Alright, so we're gonna start with the review. I'll do a what's it called? A spoiler. I'll try to be as spoiler free as I can. I don't know how good, how well I can be spoiler free. So if you haven't watched the game yet, I do suggest just go watch it first, just to make sure you don't run into anything. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the story explain now. So, or not the story explain. I'm gonna go ahead and do a review of it now. I personally really enjoyed this game. The music in this game is lovely. I find almost all of the... No, I'm going to say all. All of Life is Strange games have amazing music. I haven't played Reunion yet, and I'm still currently playing Double Exposure, but even Double Exposure, I do enjoy the music. Very good music. Great visuals. Like, even like you can see the houses here, like they just, the photos as they're going by, the visuals are great. I also love the visual storytelling in this game. So in this game, there's things going on with people such as like Eleanor and the young child. What was the child's name? Ethan? Ethan and Ethan's mom, Charlotte. They all have things going on, and the visual representations they use when you are seeing what's going on with these people, I think is fantastic. I love the fact that, okay, so this is definitely a spoiler right here, sorry. But not a big one, I don't think. So, when Eleanor is having her dementia episode, and you go into her emotions, and like the words on items have gone backwards or jumbled, and as you click on memories, the item literally changes or disappears. Like, I just think that's an amazing way to represent what is happening to her mind. You see, like, the shop literally starts to get cracks in the walls and stuff like this, things that aren't actually there. And there are multiple times with Ethan, for example, when he's afraid of the monster, and the monster, you can literally go in and feel his emotions, and you can see the monsters that he sees. Or when you're playing the game and he pulls out the sword and you are transported into this magical world of knights and monsters. I just think that's an amazing way to express what is going on. Even though it's very blatant what's going on, like, you don't need to see it, but I think the way they choose to show it is amazing. Just feels great. I really enjoyed the almost like RPG kind of LARPing section where you're literally going around and you're battling. That was fantastic. I love that added little bonus sequence. Does it do a whole lot for the story? A little bit. It does help narratively a little bit, but it also is just nice to have, you know, a little break from just everything else you're doing and just kind of chill with Ethan. I'm kind of sad that Ethan's not there for the rest of the game, but I mean, it completely makes sense, and it's probably the most helpful thing for Charlotte in that moment to be alone, especially with the way that she was feeling. The actual story, I think, is compelling. I really enjoyed the story from beginning to end. The second we load up the game, I was trying to figure out what her powers were. Like Alex, I was trying to figure out what she could do. And then when you start seeing the colors around people, it's like, she can see their auras, she can see their intentions or their soul or something. Like, it's just so good to try and guess. So I thought that was great. Here's a spoiler again. I don't think it's a super big one, but it was such a shock when Gabe died. I had myself convinced that I had accidentally killed Ethan, and then Gabe died, and that was like, oh, what? And I got really connected to Gabe really quickly. I think the characterizations of like the way it shows these characters, I think was another great thing. Even just, especially because Gabe's only there for a little bit, the way people talk about him, and you're able to walk around and literally, you're living in his apartment, so you're learning about Gabe through memories. I think that was awesome. One thing I didn't like that that I kind of sucked was I have a touchpad. Like, I don't have an actual mouse. I do need to get an actual mouse, but because of that, I had to change the bindings for using Alex's power, which is fine. But I did that a little bit late, and there was a crack in the apartment that Alex has that you can literally only look at during, like, the first time she's in the apartment, I think it is. Which is before I realized that I could, 1, use power, and 2, before I changed the things. So I didn't want to see that, but I would have to go back to do that. So that kind of sucked that there were certain things that you can only see at certain times. But I do understand. I do get that. I just wish that something like a crack in a wall, like, why would, I guess, move the box in front of it so you couldn't see it, but I don't know. I still wish I could have been able to experience that. The story itself was compelling and interesting and had me hooked right from the second that everything started to kick off. This is not a slow game, in my opinion. Like, I played like 12 hours, I'm pretty sure. I played about 12 hours of this game, and it was not, it didn't feel like 12 hours. It was a pretty quick-paced game, in my opinion, and it kicks off pretty quick. You have, Alex shows up, she meets her brother, she meets Ethan. Ethan says he's gonna go up to the mines. You hang out with your brother. Ethan's stuck in the mines. You go up, your brother's dead. Boom, we have, the narrative for the story, what we're following, what we're doing. So, it really didn't feel like it was all that long before things kicked off. I enjoyed her powers. It was a little odd when we were, when she had a scene where she was kind of just going through her own memories, but she had just been through something extremely traumatic, so that could very well just be like, your life flashing before your eyes. Like, I don't think that was technically part of her power or anything like that. The only criticism I'm gonna say I really have that I didn't like about this game, that I thought was like, was at the very end when she's talking with Gabe and she physically sees him. Like, I understand what they're trying to do, but you can represent it better than that, in my opinion, because in a case like that, people are going to start going, so can she see ghosts? Like, why was she able to talk to Gabe for so long? I think the first part was her going through her memories. She was having a near-death experience, and, this is what her brain was manifesting. But at the very end, I don't think he actually needed to be there. I feel like she could have been having a conversation basically by herself, and the camera could have not shown where Gabe was, and you would still get the same effect. She's talking to her brother. Her brother's not there, but she is talking to her brother. Overall, I think this is an amazing game. I genuinely really enjoyed it. I really appreciate the fact that you can go back on specific scenes rather than having to restart the entire chapter if you want to change something, or even just see how a different ending would have been. So that was really cool. I like that. So, overall, I give this game a 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. It was a good game. It's a really good game. I genuinely liked it. I would absolutely play it again. I think, personally, this is the direction that Deck 9 should have stayed with. Deck 9 should have continued on doing games like this. Finding a different power, a different situation, something like that, rather than going back to Max and Chloe. Now, that's just my personal opinion. That may change when I finish the other 2 games they made. It might not. But I will do a final goodbye to Life is Strange video after I finish those 2 games. news. I'm just stating this might be new for now. So I think that is it for the review. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the story explained there now. So if you want to hop on out before we get like really into the spoilers, you can hop on out and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye! So, Life is Strange True Color, you start the game with Alex Chen. Alex is in foster care because something has happened with her family, we don't know what yet. Alex is being, I think she's being aged out, if I'm pretty sure. And her brother, who she hasn't had contact with in about 7 years, has finally found her. And he told her, I want you to come live where I live. And she has agreed. Now, the therapist that she is talking to, I believe it's a therapist or a doctor or something. The doctor she is talking to, makes some references to her problems and asking if her brother knows. And Alex is very certain that no one needs to know, and she can get over this on her own. She's fine now. So the next scene is us heading over to a little creek, and we meet our brother on the bridge. Immediately he is super open and welcoming, and he's just happy to see his sister again. And of course you can choose to either be just as opening and welcoming, or you can be a little more standoffish. And it's here that you start to slowly see what her power is. You can start to see people's emotions. He takes you around the town, and you meet a handful of people. You meet Steph, you meet his best friend Ryan, you meet... what was that girl's name? I can't remember the girl's name, the one that was dating... the one that was dating Mac. Either way, you meet a girl who is trying to apply for college, and your brother is helping her. You meet Eleanor, an old lady who owns the flower shop. You just meet a nice handful of people. You meet Ethan, who your brother's kind of a stepfather for now. And you also meet Judd. Judd runs the bar where your brother works, and he owns the apartment right above the bar where your brother lives. Your brother then states he's giving you that apartment. Not only has he welcomed you into his home, shown you around town and introduced you to people, he has given you all of the freedom you have never ever had. You thank him and you kind of rack out with your brother, just have a good vibe moment, and then Matt comes to the door. Matt comes to the door, he's extremely angry because he has basically assumed that your brother is sleeping with his girlfriend. So he gets super angry and tries to fight your brother, and that's when you see the full extent of Alex's powers. So, as Mac is beating up your brother, Alex starts to say the same things he's saying. She feels the same things he's feeling, and then she whoops his butt. She beats him up. Now, the part that annoys me about this is that everyone acts like Alex did something crazy here. Sorry. Alex did not do anything crazy. Mac was beating up her brother first. She just did self-defense. It was not self-defense. She was quite brutal, and she did accidentally hit her brother, but he grabbed onto her. I'm sorry, that's kind of what you expect. Anyways, everyone's low-key mad at her about it. I'm kind of confused about it. Anywho, back down in the bar, and a police officer shows up and pretends he's going to arrest Alex, but then obviously doesn't. And then Mac asks her to not say what happened to his girlfriend, just let him do the talking. But when his girlfriend shows up, he lies to her and says that your brother started it, and your brother was just beating the crap out of him, and whatever. So, you can either tell the truth or not. You tell the truth, they break up. I have a good feeling if you don't tell the truth, they probably stay together. And then she has a worse view of your brother. Anywho, by this point, your brother's girlfriend's son, Ethan, has wandered up into the mountains and decided that he's going to explore the old mines. You would then have a heart-to-heart with your brother, have a couple drinks, and then everyone realizes that they can't find Ethan. Ryan, your brother, all find out that Ethan's missing. You explain that Ethan is in the mines, and everyone runs up there because there is a company that does blasting in those mines, and, well, there's a blast going off tonight, and Ethan is within the blast zone. So you all rush up there, and while on the way, your brother goes ahead and calls the company, which is actually where Mac works. Mac is who answers his phone. At first, Max thinks that your brother is just trying to be a jerk with him, but he's not. He tells them that Ethan's up there and the four of you are all up there trying to get him down, and so he agrees to not let the blast go off because, well, he's not a heartless monster. Anywho, you follow. Ethan likes to make a storybook, so you look at his storybook and it's literally drawings of the mines. He has been drawing out this plan for God only knows how long. So you follow his plan straight to where he is. He has gotten stuck. He believes there is a monster at the bottom of the canyon, and that if he moves, it will find him and eat him. It's probably noises he's heard from animals that has him afraid and thinking this. Either way, Alex then has to use her powers to feel what he is feeling, see the monsters he's seeing, and help him come over his fear. She helps him get over his fear and gets him back to Ryan and Jed. And not Jed, Gabe. But soon as he's back, wow, an explosion goes off. The explosion Max said wouldn't happen. A boulder hits Gabe and he falls over the mountain, and Alex has a rope attached to her and Gabe. So when Gabe fell, the force starts dragging her over. There are more boulders coming, and in the split section, Ryan makes the decision to cut the rope. It's the only way to save Alex and get the rest of them out of harm's way. But sadly, that means that there is no rescuing Gabe. So everyone goes home, and the very next day there is a funeral. Everyone is heartbroken over what happened to Gabe. Jed tries to say that there is no one to blame. It was an accident. Ryan gets mad and says there is someone to blame, and it's the company that did the blasting, because they were told not to do a blast. Mac then stands up and says that he never got a call, which then ends in a big old fight, verbal argument at the wake. Alex leaves and goes upstairs. Steph tries to comfort her. However, Steph ends up seeing a prize from a foosball tournament that Gabe kept, and it ends up just making her emotions wrecked. Of course, this affects Alex, who can feel those emotions. You then have to choose a way to calm Steph down. It works just fine. And then you go and hang out with Ryan to try to calm him down. And he, of course, is angry. And... oh, wait, no, you talk to Mac first. Sorry. You talk to Mac first. You can feel his feelings. He's like super paranoid and panicked, and you're able to convince him to tell you what is going on, and he tells you that, well, not able to convince him, but you hear something while you're listening to his motions, and you then use that to force him to tell you what happened. He explains that he did tell them not to do the blast, and they did it anyways. Why'd they do it anyways? No idea. And of course, they then told him to lie and say that he never got the call, which is so unfair to him, which means that Mac couldn't just mourn at the funeral. Mac literally had to argue and get into a fight at a funeral over his job. He's now seen as the bad guy. Mac wants to leave. He's asked his girlfriend to run away with him. He is petrified of this town now. So... that's fine. You also have some side errands. You see Steph and you go and see Charlotte, who was your brother's girlfriend. She has a settlement from the company that did the blasting. And you can advise her either to sign it or not sign it. You then go and meet up with Ryan, who feels like all of this is partly his fault because he is the one who cut the rope. You have to calm him down. You also explain that you know Typhon, which is the company that did the blasting, is at fault and did something wrong, and you tell them what you learned from Mac. So he wants to know, of course, how you knew this. So you decide to explain your powers to him. He is super cool, he's super into it, and you ask him to think about something, and he ends up looking at the clouds and just getting this pure emotion of joy, and she falls in love with it. Alex loves this, like, almost iridescent looking feeling that emits from people. So that's all good. Then you have to come up with a way to prove, however, that Typhon did it. So you get Steph in on it too. And there's a girl who comes to the bar. She, what's it called? She's like PR, I believe, for Typhon. She has a laptop and a USB stick with information. So, your new idea? Steal that USB stick, see what's on it. So Steph and Ryan agree to help you. You either get Steph or Ryan to come up and ask her on a date while you steal her stick. You do it, you take the stick, and you find out that you not only have a recording of Gabe's call, you have a recording of the call afterwards of a higher-up telling the person, the PR manager, I believe, that they have to do the blast anyways, afraid something else will be discovered. So you search up what else might be discovered on the laptop, and you see that they were doing mining, they were doing blasting in their old mining shaft, even though they were only authorized to do one blast that night. So, they set off the blast that killed your brother, because they wanted to hide another illegal blast that they were doing. So that's fine. You tell the town sheriff about this, and tell him to meet you the next night, and you will give him the stick. That's all good. The very next night is a flower festival. Oh my god, I completely skipped over. There's also, before all of this, there is also a scene with Ethan where you play a LARPing section and you go around pretending that everyone is monsters and townsfolks. And in the end, you have to fight the evil king. The king at the beginning seemed nice, and then at the end he was evil, and that is Jed. I completely forgot about that scene. I don't actually remember where that happens, but it's definitely before you steal the USB stick. And then you tell the police officer to meet you the very next night. The very next night is the flower festival. Everyone gives, at least people who want to, give flowers to the people they are in love with or have a crush on. It's just a nice little party. You can also find Ducky and you can help him out. You can learn everything about Ducky in this one night. It's completely optional. You can also go to the rooftop and find Steph, who tells you that she is leaving. She has decided she wants to leave. So you can either, she asks you to come with her, and says you don't have to choose now. That might only happen if you do the romance with her, though. I think that only happens if you do the romance with her. If she's not up there, you probably meet with Ryan. And then you meet up with the police officer, you give him the stick, and he arrests you. So he tells you that, what you did is illegal, and the girl is pressing charges. You then have a big ol' argument back and forth with the police officer. He is very clearly afraid of Typhon, and he wants you to back down. You can either choose to back down or not. So I chose not to. Then you go home, and you start talking to Jed, because he saw you get arrested and get released. So you explain everything to Jed, and you explain about the mining, or the blasting in the old mine. Jed was once a hero. Apparently there was some kind of collapse in the mines where Jed was working, and he ended up saving a bunch of miners. He is hailed a hero. The town is decorated in memorials to Jed. So Jed takes you up to that old blast site, the one where he saved people. You go up, and while you're looking into the mine, you mention that Jed is sad. You turn around, Jed's holding a gun. Jed explains that he made a terrible decision years ago, the kind of terrible decision that you can't come back from. And he decides to shoot Alex. Alex falls down the mine shaft and has a very trippy trip down memory lane. You learn about Alex's childhood. Apparently, Alex's mother got extremely sick for a long time, long enough that Alex and Gabe spent a lot of time hanging out at the hospital. Alex's mom passed away. When she passed away, she asked Alex to keep the two boys together, which is not something a young child could do. Alex was only like 8 or 9, and that is not something a young child can do. Keep two grown men together, keep them sensible. So, of course, the men fall apart. Gabe gets extremely angry and starts fighting with his father. His father very possibly abuses alcohol and is constantly losing his job. He's having an extremely hard time with 2 kids and his own emotions. Eventually, there is a fight between Gabe and their father, and it seems like Alex gets hurt in this fight. And their father has had enough. He packs up everything and tells them that he's leaving. He abandons his 2 kids in the home and tells them, don't worry, CPS will show up eventually. He literally jumps ship and leaves. So, Alex finally wakes up. She's at the bottom of the mine. She's quite beaten and bloody and bruised because she fell a good way and she was shot. Thankfully, Jed's not a good aim. So, she wanders through the mines because she needs to find a way out. And she can feel emotional things around her. She walks up to this, landslide. There's something definitely emotional in that landslide. She digs it up, and it is a necklace that her mother gave her before she died. A locket with a picture of Gabe and her. It's from her father. She threw it at her father when he left. So she then listens to the emotional memory. The walls in the mine were wet. I'm going to assume that means it was probably more water around than there should have been. I don't know. But people are telling Jed that the mines are wet. Jed said he doesn't care, that his divers have never turned away, that they will do it. So they continue to mine. However, someone must hit something, and the tunnels start filling with water. Jed and another miner are talking. Jed does want to get the other miners out. He's worried that they will drown. However, the miner tells Jed that they will also drown if they do not lock the door now. So, they lock the door and leave about 12 other miners to drown to death. One of those miners happens to be Alex's father. Alex's father is heard in his necklace cursing at Jed, telling him to come back, and another miner is comforting him, telling him he's not coming back. This is it. So, Jed was not a hero that day that saved a bunch of miners. He caused the death of at least 12 miners. But Jed made a deal with Typhon. This is through speculation on my part, but I believe that Typhon probably threatened Jed. They probably said that they would blame the entire thing on him, and that he would never recover from this, that, this would look terrible on him, yada yada yada. So, Jed, terrified, agreed, and went ahead with what Typhon said. He was hailed a hero. He then went on about life. He had Ryan. Ryan is his son. You now know what has happened. Alex finds a way to leave the caves. There is some form of vote going on back at home, at the bar that Jed owns. The vote seems to be around Typhon. Jed and the lady from Typhon are talking about something, and the rest of the people are to vote. You show up, battered and bloody, beaten as all could be. Everyone freaks out, and Alex starts to explain what happened. She knows everything. She knows about the call. She knows about the illegal blast. She knows about the 12 miners that died. She knows about Jed's part in that. She knows that Jed agreed to it. She then explains that Jed also shot her. Of course, this is something insane, and it's hard for everyone to believe. Everyone is shocked and doesn't believe it at first. But depending on the relationship that you have fostered with the people in this town, you can actually get every single person in that meeting to vote against Typhon with you, depending on the choices that you have made. Or you can get everyone to vote against you. It all depends on your choices. So, I had everyone vote with me. Jed, however, holds out to the bitter end. The bitter end. he argues with Alex in front of everyone. Eventually, you explain everything. You even show the locket explaining that one of those 12 miners that died was your father. He was a screw-up and was not a good dad. But he came here looking for a good life, a better life, trying to better himself. And he wasn't able to do that because he was drowned. So, eventually, Jed finally falls apart, and he accepts what has happened. But he does say that he didn't have a choice. He tried to do what was best for his son, for his family, for the town. But then you correct him and say it wasn't what was best for the town, it was what was best for Jed. Because best for the town would have been knowing what happened to their family, their friends, their neighbors. What was best for Jed was coming out the hero. Of course, Ryan is a little sad about what has happened, learning this about his father. You can either then choose to condemn or forgive Jed. Either way, Jed just go to jail. You then have a moment on the roof where you are talking with the ghost of your brother, and depending on who you have romanced, Alex, Steph, or Ryan, you then have to make the choice to stay or leave with them. Neither ending is particularly bad. There is no way to get a bad ending here. It's just a matter of whether you will hang around the town forever or whether you will hit the road. And that is the end of Life is Strange: True Colors. The murder mystery, the new faces, seeing Steph again. Now, there's also Steph's side story. I will talk about that real quick. There's Steph's side story where, like, you just see her get the DJ job. She plays D&D with Mikey. She has memories of Chloe dying or of Arcadia Bay being destroyed. Whichever one you chose to let happen. But, like, honestly, it's 2 hours, and it's, in my opinion, it's not really worth it. It's fine. Nothing really happens in it. There's literally 2 characters the entire 2 hours. You spend a lot of the time just reading out ads and listening to music. The only thing that I thought was, like, kind of interesting was, like, every now and again you do the foosball with Gabe, and, of course, the slow story of Valkyrie. But, yeah, it wasn't, you can play the game without it, and you still have just as much knowledge as you did before, in my opinion. But that is my, story review, and, my story explained, and my review of, Life is Strange: True Color. Let me know what you thought of the game down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Where is my mouse? There's my mouse. Bye-bye!